Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled, Out of My Control. There are so many things in life that fall completely outside of my control. And yet, for some reason, I keep trying to manage them, as if sheer willpower or careful behavior could somehow bend reality to my liking. I catch myself doing this often, trying to micromanage outcomes, trying to anticipate every possible reaction, trying to be so good, so kind, so careful that nothing bad could possibly happen. But when I really stop and think about it, I realize how little control I actually have over certain aspects of my life. This isn't a new realization. I've talked about it before, maybe even more than once, but I feel the need to bring it up again. Not because I enjoy repeating myself, but because this truth keeps resurfacing in different ways, and each time it does, it hits a little differently. I want to give this thought the space it deserves. I want to make it its own conversation, its own moment of reflection. One of the clearest examples of this lack of control shows up in the way people interact with me on social media. There's this app I use. It's kind of like a smaller version of Twitter. I've mentioned it before. It has the same basic structure. You can post updates, follow people, send private messages, and engage in conversations. But it's on a much smaller scale, which makes the interactions feel more personal, and sometimes more unpredictable. What I've noticed is that no matter how kind, respectful, or thoughtful I try to be, people still block me. It doesn't always make sense. Sometimes I'll be having what feels like a perfectly normal conversation, and then, boom, I'm blocked. No warning, no explanation, just gone. And it stings. Not because I did something wrong, but because I genuinely don't understand why it happened. That's the part that gets to me. I try so hard to be a good person. I treat people with kindness. I listen. I respect boundaries. I don't harass or provoke. And yet, people still choose to shut me out. It's a reminder that no matter how much effort I put into being decent, I can't control how others perceive me, or how they choose to respond. It's frustrating, it's confusing, and it's deeply humbling, because it forces me to confront the limits of my influence. I can't stop someone from blocking me. I can't force someone to like me, or to stay in my life, or to treat me fairly. I can only control myself, my actions, my words, my intentions. And even that can be hard to accept. Because when you're someone who cares deeply, who wants to connect, who values communication, it's painful to be shut out without cause. It feels unjust. It feels personal. Even when it probably isn't. But the truth is, it's not always about me. People block others for all kinds of reasons. Some rational, some impulsive, some rooted in their own insecurities or past experiences. I may never know what triggered it, and maybe I'm not supposed to. Still, it's hard not to internalize it, especially when the app itself seems to punish you for being blocked. If enough people block you, the system assumes you're the problem. It flags your account. It limits your reach. It treats you like a threat, even if you've done nothing wrong. That's what makes it feel so unfair. It's not just the rejection from individuals, it's the platform reinforcing that rejection, amplifying it, turning it into a kind of digital exile. And when that happens, it's easy to start questioning yourself, to wonder if maybe you are the problem, to spiral into self-doubt. But I have to remind myself, I know who I am. I know how I treat people. I know the effort I put into being respectful and kind. And if someone chooses to block me despite that, It says more about them than it does about me. Still, the uncertainty can be exhausting. You never know what someone's going to do. You never know when a conversation will suddenly end, or when someone will decide they don't want you in their digital space anymore. It makes every interaction feel like walking on eggshells. And that's not a sustainable way to live. I can't keep tiptoeing around, trying to avoid being blocked. I can't keep trying to control the uncontrollable. Because the more I try to manage other people's reactions, the less control I actually have over my own peace of mind. Sometimes I just have to let things be. Let people come and go. Let conversations unfold or unravel without trying to force an outcome. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Right now, for example, I'm talking to someone new, a woman I've just started getting to know. We haven't talked much yet, but there's potential for more. And of course, part of me is already bracing for the worst. What if she blocks me? What if things don't work out? What if I say the wrong thing? But I can't live in that fear. I can't let the possibility of rejection stop me from trying, because if I do, I'll never connect with anyone. I'll never take risks. I'll never grow. And maybe she will block me. Maybe she'll decide I'm not someone she wants to talk to. Maybe she'll have her reasons. Or maybe she won't. But that's her choice, not mine. And I have to be okay with that. It's the same lesson, over and over again. I can't control other people. I can only control how I respond. I can only control how I show up. And honestly, that's enough. It has to be. It reminds me of something that happened to my dad recently. He was asleep in his apartment when someone hit his parked car and tried to drive away. Thankfully, a witness saw it happen and got the license plate. The insurance is handling it now. But the point is, my dad didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't even in the car. And yet, someone else's carelessness affected him. That's how life works. You can do everything right and still get blindsided, still get hurt, still get blocked, literally or metaphorically. And it's not your fault. It's out of your control. So I need to stop obsessing over who might block me next. I need to stop trying to prevent every possible rejection. Because I can't. And trying only makes me anxious. It only makes me feel smaller. The more I try to control everything, the more I lose control of myself. And that's not the kind of life I want to live. I want to be open. I want to be brave. I want to keep talking to people, even if some of them walk away, even if some of them block me, even if some of them misunderstand me. Because that's life. That's connection. That's risk. And I'd rather take the risk than live in fear. So this is my reminder, to myself, and maybe to anyone else who needs to hear it. You don't have to control everything. You can't. And that's okay. Just be yourself. Be kind. Be real. And let the rest unfold however it's going to. That's all any of us can do. And honestly, that's enough. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye for now.